Good
Good, good.
morning, everyone. This is the DC Incentives Podcast, episode 34. We have a special guest, an author, a coach, an entrepreneur. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on today. Really appreciate the love and the welcome. Hey everyone. So my name is Shanine Alessia Young. As you stated, I am an author. I am a coach. I coach authors and entrepreneurs and show them how to write books that will basically grow their business. So I show them how to publish it and how to market it. And I'm just an entrepreneur at heart as well. I been an entrepreneur for a few years, started out in photography and then started branching out into coaching. So just been growing my coaching business for the past 2 years. So, and I love that because I'm a teacher. So I'm a certified teacher. So I literally love walking people through processes and helping them get that aha moment. So I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. Um, I got so many questions to ask. I'm going to start off with your origin story. Talk about where you started from.
So yeah, I started. So as I said, I started out doing photography maybe about maybe about six years ago. Started
Okay.
out 6 years ago. Did that for a couple years. Had a business. It was going really well, and then I kind of realized I was like, okay, because I used to model too, so I used to do a lot. I used to model, and then I was like, okay, well, let me see how it's like, taking the picture instead of being behind the camera.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it, but I was just like, I kind of want to, do something else that I think I would enjoy a little more.
Hmm.
So I started in education in 2013, started teaching and was really just focusing on that. And then after teaching for about 5 years, I I decided to write a book about my experience. So I wrote my first book. It was called Reaching While Teaching: The Educator's Guide to Impacting and Transforming Lives. So I wrote
Hell of a
that, did
title.
really well. Huh?
That's a hell of a title. It's hard to remember all those words. It's not like
Well,
reach
people
and
just
teach.
remember reaching while teaching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the subtitle is, the educator's guide. So they know that's for educators, and then what it's supposed to do, you're supposed to learn how to impact and transform lives. So, but most people just say, "Oh yeah, reaching while teaching, I bought the book." so, so yeah, I did that, sold hundreds of copies, got into my local bookstore in South Florida because I'm originally from Florida.
I
Just
can't
moved
tell
up
with your
here.
accent.
You can't tell?
No, I can't tell. You don't have a Floridian accent. You don't say y'all. I don't hear a lot of nah means. I don't hear a lot of country bumpkin stuff.
Well, I do say y'all a lot actually, but I'm Floridian, but I have Jamaican in me as well, so it's like a mix. You hear some accents depending on some words I say. But yeah, so had my book in a local bookstore down there. And then people just started asking me questions about the process. How did you do it? Can you help me? So I started mentoring people a little bit on the side. And then um I don't know, I think just writing my first book kind of like pushed me to want to like start like an official business, because with my photography business I was doing it for so long, but I never really registered it with the state or nothing like that. So
Mhm.
with this one I was like, okay, I started selling like inspirational apparel, and then I started doing the courses, showing people how to publish a book. And I was like, you know what, let me make this official. So I got it registered on my state's website, and then it was just it just took off from there. Started growing my clientele. People started finding out about what I do, and I've just been loving it ever since. I went into it full time in March. So March, I moved to Georgia with my husband, and then stopped teaching. So I wasn't teaching for from March all the way to December. So yeah, I just been focusing on my business and really growing it, and God's been good. It's been doing really good.
Absolutely. All the time. Amen.
hmm hmm
Yes.
So could you take us back I know you jumped like all the way forward to where you are in the present, but take me back to when you first started modeling.
Just let you know, he's gonna ask you about a million questions. So just be
Okay, let me prepare. I should have brought my water. Let me prepare.
you
So
can
you,
get water.
yeah, you can take a break and get your water if you need to.
All right, I'm good right now. Go ahead.
Uh,
Okay.
so you start modeling. I'm assuming were you discovered? Well, what made you decide to go into the field at all?
Well, I've always been told that I should model, and then South Florida is pretty big down there in South Florida, so I would go to like little different events. I had a lot of casting calls. I did a few events that were paid, and then I was just like, oh wow, I enjoyed this. And then
How'd that first paycheck feel? That first paycheck just for looking pretty.
felt good. It felt good. It felt good. I think it felt really good when I had a student. I was teaching. I wasn't an official teacher yet, but I was doing a program. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It's called City Year.
No.
So it's kind of like you go into the schools that really need help, and you mentor the students and you work with them one on one, and then you get like an educational grant after the year of your service. So I
Okay.
did that, and that was in Miami. It was a rough school there. And I remember like one of the students, he sent something to my cousin on this little app that they use sometimes to tell them to do their homework. And there was like a picture of me on like a hair store in front of the store. I was like, what? I didn't know that they were doing that because I knew they were putting it in a magazine, but I was just like, so then I drove over there and I seen it and I recorded it and I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool.
Hmm.
So that was like that was really nice for me. So I enjoyed it. I did that for a good little minute, a couple years. But I think I don't know what made me stop. I'm trying to think what made me stop. I think I knew I didn't really want to do anything like too crazy. I know sometimes they may ask you to do like wear bikinis, different stuff like that. I was just like, no, I
Okay.
just like
So
taking
nothing in the nude.
yeah, I'm not I just like taking pretty pictures. I like to just model on the runway. That's it. So
So was that first paycheck because modeling isn't a normal 9 to 5 job, and I don't know what you did beforehand. Was that first paycheck for doing something that I'm assuming you love, the spark that let you know that I do in fact have the entrepreneurial spirit?
um I think so. I think it showed me that it's possible. Like you don't have to like be put into a box, like where you have to be like, oh, you have to go clock in and stuff like. It showed me that it's possible
Facts.
to, you can make money off of doing things that you love, turning your story into a profit somehow. So yeah.
So so that's motivational speaking. Um, how tell me about the transition of when you was working a 9 to 5 and 9 to 5 you transitioned to an entrepreneur. Like when was the day when you was like, all right, it's time.
Um, that was yeah, that was earlier this year. I think me and my husband we had a plan, so we were moving. So, um, the original goal was okay, like you take. I think COVID too, like got me used to kind of just like because when COVID happened, educators we were basically staying at home. We tried the online thing, but we weren't really trained. Even though some of us we did it good, but after like a month or so, they were just like, okay, school year's over. Just
Mm.
they all passed. So
Were you still getting paid or no?
yeah, we're still getting paid. Yeah, of course. That's not our fault. Yeah, we were still getting paid, thank God. So that was in I think March of 2020. So from March all the way until we didn't go back until September of 2020.
Mm.
Um, it kind of like, and I was really pushing, my business and everything was doing well. So I was just like, okay, even though I was still getting paid and I was still kind of employed, I felt like I'm doing my entrepreneurship full time. So it kind of gave me a little taste of it. And then in March of 2021, then that's when me and my husband we decided, we wanted to move to Georgia because we knew like for our business and just like it would be a really good, move for us, and we kind of wanted something different. So
Hmm.
once we moved, obviously I can't work in Florida anymore. They weren't going to allow me to teach, virtual from a whole nother state. So
Wow.
basically, yeah, basically I was kind of just like ready. I was just like, 'cause I think it's that time to kind of, take a break, step away. So I did that, and I loved it. I stayed home watching my daughter, homeschooling her, and then growing my business. And I don't think I would have got it to the point to where it is now if I didn't have these months to kind of like, really build it, to grow my brand, and to, you know, grow my clientele. So I mean, it was a process, but it and that's why that's why I came up with the book that I just recently wrote, Freedom Over Fear, because it I mean, for some people, they might be like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. As soon as I move, I gotta go try to find a new job. But it's just like, it's not guaranteed, but it's like you gotta have that faith, and everything worked out. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, I always find that decision to stop getting your guaranteed income and venture into the unknown to be one of the bravest things you can do, especially when you move. How did you develop that mindset? Did it start from, I'm going to assume it started from photography, because it sounds like from modeling, transitioning from modeling to photography, photography sort of gave you the first foundations of what it means to run your own business. Did that help you feel confident in transitioning into what you're doing now, or what inspired you to tether your ties with teaching with confidence?
I think for me, my I think the photography helped because it showed me that it's possible, and it kind of gave me the background that I needed. Like, oh, you gotta have this in place. You can't just be like, yeah, I'm gonna make money. Like, no, you actually have to have a plan and have the strategy behind it. Um, and I think my family, I'm big on like family time. So me being able to stay home with my daughter and actually teach her and see like, oh, she's learning how to spell. Me using my skills in teaching. It kind of gave me that extra push. Like, okay, this is possible. I could still watch her and still grow my business. So like, and she has like a lot of different allergies as well. So I wasn't really comfortable sending her out anywhere. Um, just because we're still trying to figure out her diet, what she can actually eat. So I think that played a part in it as well. Like okay, I get to stay home, with my baby girl, and I still get to do what I love. I think that played a big part.
I love it when you said family is most important. And can you please give advice for the audience why family is important instead of just grind, 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 work, work, work?
Hmm. I mean, we see it several times, like just millionaires, billionaires, people that, on their deathbed, like they don't wish like, oh, I wish I would have closed that contract, that last contract, that felt like they don't care about that. Like they care about, man, I should have probably spent more time with my wife or my kids, or, so like I never want to be a person that, you could achieve all this success, you can gain all these worldly possessions and all these things, but it's like you lose what's really important. So for me, that's important. So I want to encourage anyone, to make sure you have a balance. So make sure you have, those days where you're just like, I'm just not gonna work on my business today. Like today, we're gonna go out, we're gonna do this, or this is a movie day, we're gonna do something. So really trying to keep that balance, and I think that's what's important, because you don't want to, you don't want to leave this earth with regrets, even though people say, you don't want to have all these dreams and not fulfill it. But to me, it's not rewarding if I check up all these things on my list, but then I neglect, those ones that I would actually want to celebrate with me and to share in the joys of, what I accomplished.
Mm.
So talk about more of im- why family for you, like let's say you and your husband, y'all plan out things for the future.
Hmm.
So you guys are getting a partnership of writing down what is the next goal for you and your husband, family. I'm really what I'm saying.
So why is that important that we plan out goals?
I
Yes,
think what he's really
family
asking
wise.
is, no, I think what Rich is asking is, you and your husband, how do you come together both as working entrepreneurial adults to find time to carve out time for your family?
Mm.
That too, but how could what advice would you give for the audience for to plan things out together as a family?
Um, so I think you have to schedule things in. Like me, I'm very like practical. I try to be organized as possible. So sometimes we just say things like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this. I want to do this," but it's like you don't really sit time to actually see how this is gonna happen, how it's gonna be possible. So sometimes we will be like, okay, um, like we something that worked really well was we had to put each other in our calendars. So we had to like, okay, so Saturday he sees like, okay, from this time to this time I'm gonna be making content. So like if we haven't found a school for my daughter, then he knows like, okay, I need you to make sure you're covering her. You know, you're watching her during this time. When he was at work, then I would do it in the day. And then when he comes home at night, he would watch her for a little bit and whatnot. So it's kind of been like back and forth. Like he'll work a little bit, and I'll be at home, and I'll work a little bit, and he'll be at home full time. But we still was always entrepreneurs. Um,
What
so I
what
think
does he do, if you don't mind me asking?
so. Right now, he has a logistics business where
Mm-hmm.
he transports, has drivers that transport different things, um, local and out of state.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to school for engineering, so he's an engineer, engineer at heart. So when we moved up here, he started in the engineering field.
Mm-hmm.
um and then he kind of just was like, he was ready to go. He wanted to like just really work for himself. I think we all have that moment where we realize like we're kind of just like pawns, like we're building other people's empires and
Yeah.
dreams, and not building his own. And he had a bad experience with his previous employer, and just was like, nah, I'm gonna try to really just do my own thing and build my own business. So yeah, so really just the scheduling, I think that helps. And then really coming together. And so we come together, we get in each other's calendars, and then we have a day where we literally focus on, okay, budgeting, we focus on our goals, we focus on what we want to accomplish in the next 2 months, next 5 months, the next year. And then we make a plan, and then we come in agreement, we pray together, and we make sure this is the will for our life, for our family, and then we just go ahead and tackle it.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Go ahead now, Ron.
All right. So you and your husband both don't have a 9 to 5. Can you talk to me about your day to day as entrepreneurs? How does it work?
So now I actually have a 9 to 5 that I
Oh,
just started.
The
we've been
way how
trashing 9 to 5 this whole time. Listen, Shanice employees, listen, we love 9 to 5s, 9 to 5s, and we keep food on the table. Forget you said anything about it.
Oh
Was a joke. Everything else was all like for jokes. I
You good.
promise.
Listen. This is I have a 9 to 5 this is temporary. I just started like 2 weeks now.
speaking
Okay.
Yeah. So from
temporarily.
March all the way to like December,
So that's
I
even
was
more interesting because you have the demands of your job, you have the demands of being a mother, a wife, and you also have the demands of your business. So what is your day to day really looking like?
Now, Ron,
ooh,
let her speak, please. Let her speak. Let her
so I'm
speak.
trying.
I can see she about to get the balls hitting.
Oh gosh. I'm still trying to find a balance, but now I'm on break. So my schedule is like back to normal, like what I'm used to. But when like last week, it was hard because the week before I had my book launch and networking event for my new book that I coached my co-authors to write, and that was in Miami. So I had to fly down. I had to fly down on the Friday, and then Friday night, and then I had to fly back the Saturday night. And then I had to, try to like Sunday, like get back focused and then go back to work Monday. So, and I did the same thing. I just flew in last night because my client flew me out for her launch event on Friday. So I had to do this. So it's kind of been like back to back weekends of just like traveling and stuff like that. So I would say my schedule is pretty much wake up at 6:45, wake up at 6:45, get to work for 8 o'clock. Then I can't leave until like 4, which I'm not used to because anytime I taught, I would always leave like at 2:45 or the latest 3 o'clock. So like
Mhm.
4, I'm like, ooh, the day's almost done. What can I do? I can barely make the bank. So once I leave there, depending on the day, I might have to tutor when I get home for an hour and then have to work on my business and then I may have to cook that day or my husband decides to cook that day. So it's like sometimes I don't go to sleep till like after 1. Um,
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Yeah.
so and I think because I'm still trying to get the hang of it, like now I'm thinking like once I go back in January, like to kind of have a different schedule, like maybe have certain days, like kind of get back to what me and my husband used to do, where like let's say Monday and Wednesday, that'll be my day in the evening where I can work on my business. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about cooking. I don't have to worry like he'll take care of, that. And then those days in between, the Tuesday and Thursday, those will be his night to work on his music, to work on his business. Cause he also, that's his passion. He does music. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what he's passionate about. So I think now I'm kind of seeing like what I need to do. I think at first it was like a lot of things trying to like juggle everything and it was still pretty new. But my assistant helps a lot. So I probably would be staying up to about 4 if I didn't have an assistant.
Wow.
So she helps a lot. She really she wasn't even in my same state. She's in Alabama and she was like putting everything together for my event that was in Florida.
Mhm.
So I think I'm gonna really try to like use her a little more. And during this break, I'm really gonna figure out how I can be less, accessible and doing things a little differently so that, I can make sure I'm getting that sleep because I believe in getting your rest. So my goal is to try to go to sleep at least by 11.
Absolutely. Yeah.
hmm
You, so you talked about an assistant. You have an assistant and you have a 9 to 5 and you're an entrepreneur. So what is the vehicle of your 9 to 5? Do you use your 9 to 5 as a vehicle for your business?
That's the only reason why I went back. Yeah. Let me make
Wow.
sure nobody watching this.
That's what I'm saying. Miss Young, everybody's gonna be watching this. Your employees might be
Oh
watching this.
yes. No, I kind of wanted to see like, okay, if this was something that I would miss because I do enjoy, working in education. I do know it's changed a bit since COVID has started. So I'm kind of just going back in there and seeing like, okay, that's a little different. And then it's a whole other state. So there's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, this is how it happens. This is how things go down in Georgia compared to Florida.
Mm.
So I'm still, you know, checking it out and seeing like, okay, this is interesting. But yeah, that was the original goal with going back. The same way how my husband allowed me for what is that 6 months, how many months it was, can't remember, lose account, all those months how he allowed me to like really focus and to build my business. And then he worked a 9 to 5, so I kind of want to do the same thing, for him. And then I don't want the money for my business to be covering like the bills like right now. Like I wanted to like go back into the business. So I was just like, okay, if I work a 9 to 5, that will take care of, the bills. His business
Mhm.
will take care of the bills too as he grows it and gets it to where he wants it to be. Cause this is, he'll have this time because he doesn't have to worry too much. So that's kind of the goal that I went into it with a mindset and I have like a timeline on how long I want to be there and what I want to do. And I think there's nothing wrong with it if you have a 9 to 5, as long as you have like, especially if you're trying to leave your 9 to 5, as long as you have a plan in place on how you want to do it, and don't get caught up in like, because sometimes you may just get caught up in just like, oh, I'm just gonna keep staying, and then you just keep pushing off your plans and pushing off your goals for your business. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not the case right here.
Wow. Okay. So talk more about freedom over fear. Talk about what made you get that edge of freedom over fear.
Mm,
Why that word, freedom over fear?
freedom over fear. Well, a quote that I actually have in the book is I say, um, fear starts in the mind, but so does freedom. So I think sometimes we cause ourselves to be defeated before we even start because of our mindset, because of what we think, and because of the things that we say, and even just the people that we're around. So freedom over fear really came from seeing like the people around us, seeing what we've been doing in our life, seeing how we branched out, and we desire to have freedom, not just financial freedom, spiritual freedom, but all types of freedom, not being like not feeling like we're controlled or we have to do certain things just to survive. Like we believe everyone should be able to like walk in complete freedom and do those things that they love, and believe that you can make a income off of doing the things you love. You can have things set up for your future generations and for your family, and you don't have to kind of like worry about like, oh, I can't do this, I can't spend this over here, because you don't have the freedom to do it. So with the book Freedom Over Fear, we kind of wanted to touch on financial freedom, which is a big one, which I think everyone needs,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
just that.
Yes, talk about it.
Mhm.
It is a necessity,
It's a necessity.
necessary.
It's not.
There you go.
Listen, if we didn't learn anything from the pandemic, you see how it's so easy for just people to just like drop you or fire you just like that. So I feel like you got to have different streams of income coming in. You can't just rely and put your eggs in one basket. So, and then being strategic though, because I heard something the other day. They were like, oh, some people have like, you got 5 different streams, but it's like it's not really a stream, it's a pond. It's like it's not flowing. It's like you're doing this, you got this hair business, you're doing this t-shirt, but you're doing like 10 different things, and it's like there's nothing bringing you in, a substantial amount of money, and it's not flowing like how a river should flow. It's more like a pond. It's just like, you get a little $50 here, so
Yeah.
I think if we're going to be serious about getting financial freedom, you want to make sure you focus on one first, like focus on one stream of income first, and really figure out how you can get that business or that service to the point where you want it to be. Then you can start branching off and doing other things, but not allowing fear to hold you back. That's the biggest thing, because I think sometimes we fear the unknown, we fear what people are going to say, we fear, oh, is this even going to work? But it's just like, if I'm a big believer in, if God gave you that vision, if you know that you're not just jumping into doing it, you're seeking wise counsel, you're getting assistance, you're actually writing down a strategy and figuring out how you're going to do it, then you got this. Like, of course you're going to be a little scared, but you still got to go forward, you still got to do it. So that's why I think freedom over fear means a lot, because in business owners, like, we had to step out of our comfort zone at one point in order to start that business, in order to grow it. Especially if we
Mhm.
left our 9 to 5, you had to tackle fear, because guess what? You want freedom. You want that financial freedom. You want that freedom in your life to not feel like you can't do the things that you want to do.
Absolutely. Now, when you touched on financial freedom, can you give for the audience what streams, multiple streams of revenue do you have? You do coaching, motivational speaking. What else? So, like, what else do you do as far as like that way people can have that? Okay, I'm gonna do this for my business. Yeah.
hmm Okay, cool, cool. And I actually list in the book, I actually list a bunch of different ideas because I guess, as I keep saying, the teacher in me, I like to be practical. I don't like to just be like, yeah, you could do this, be great. No, I like to show you
D-
practical steps.
You have a
Mm.
book. Do you have the book on you right now that you would like to
Of
promote?
course.
There it goes. You see what I'm saying? You
I'm
know
a
what I'm
coach.
saying?
Of course, you got
Let's
to be ready
go.
all the
Come
time.
on, let's
For
go.
those of you who can't see, she just lifted up the book out of nowhere. You know what I mean? She had it ready to go. I can't believe it.
Oh,
Listen, you got to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. But
That's great marketing. That is fantastic marketing.
we go. Yes, freedom over fear. There you go, people. Yes.
so yes, I would say, so some of the streams I have is with the coaching. That's one of my main ones. That's what I really focus on. I also, I have a few courses as well. And let's see. Yeah, I do speaking as well. And it's all kind of related to people. If people ask me to speak, it's more so, about how they can become an author. It's more so about like kind of things what I'm known for, content marketing. So I'm a part of a group called the 9 to 5 CEOs, and we actually had a conference in November in Miami, and then we're having one in Atlanta in May. So we talk about, we choose different things based on our business. So I will focus on content marketing and different things like that. So if I'm speaking, it's either about being an author or it's about content marketing. So that's another stream. Also, just being an author is a stream, right? Because I have books on Amazon and I have books on my website. So people are still purchasing that, especially anytime I do like a post or I go live. Like I get people that, oh, okay, I forgot, I got to get my copy, and they purchase. So that's another stream. And you notice all of these are related. I'm not saying nothing like, oh yeah, and then I do hair, on the side.
Hmm.
Like, so I want people to be mindful, like try to make sure you want to be known for something. So when someone sees me, I don't want it to be like, oh, she does this, but then I think she does this too. She also does, like, I want to be known, for like, one thing, and they know
Right.
like what to come to me for. So I try to make sure the streams are in line with that. And I also get a stream from my podcast as well. I have sponsors for my show, and then based on certain listens, I get money from that as well.
And it
Trying
looks like we might have to come to her for how to do that because, that's, oof. I'm not going to get into details,
I'm
but,
big on listen,
how
I'm
did
big
you
on
get
getting
started?
sponsors. But I
So,
got you, I got you.
so what inspired you to write Freedom Over Fear?
I would say seeing myself and then seeing my husband as well, just hearing his story and just like because he never really expressed it to me, but then he was like, yeah, because they kind of did him wrong at his job. They told him he would get his position back, and then he took like one for the team. He like went down just so like other
He
people
got a
wouldn't lose.
demotion so that
Yeah,
everybody,
so that other people wouldn't lose their job.
right.
And then like they were like, oh yeah, only for 3 months, whatnot. 3 months came, he's asking, they're just like, huh, we didn't say that. Like acting like they forgot. Like I was like, oh really?
Really?
So yeah, at that point he kind of started like planning his move and getting out. And then I think COVID hit, and eventually, yeah, he did leave, and then he started the business. And just seeing that, it was just like, wow, like we really got to make sure we have some other things in place because like your 9 to 5, it may not be promised, especially with this whole like if you're not trying to take a vaccine, at certain requirements and stuff like that. So it's like
Right.
I feel like if we should have the freedom to do what we want to do. So if you feel like you don't want to take that, then you shouldn't be forced to be living on the street just because you don't want to do certain things. I feel like we should have that type of freedom. So freedom over fear really came from a point where seeing like it's possible to go after your dreams. It's possible to um make more than what what you're making at your nine to five. Like, I think
Right.
it's people think like, no, I have to have this because I need to be making this. Once I seen that I was able to make um to double my teaching, what I was making
Salary.
teaching salary, I was just like, wow, okay, this is actually possible.
Yeah.
And it gives you that, like, once you don't think it's possible and then you see someone else doing it. So like with the book, it's filled with 7 different business owners. We're sharing our own experience. We're sharing like things that we did to grow our business, to start our business. We share, our journey to financial freedom. And I think it's good to hear different points of view because that gives you that encouragement. Just like when you hear people's testimonies, you're just like, oh, wow, you went through that. So sometimes we think the journey is going to be easy, but no, if once you read the book, you see like some people, it wasn't easy in the beginning. Like sometimes they were charging like very, very low when they should have been charging more, but they wanted to get their feet in the door. They wanted to actually see if this was something that they loved. And then now, like one of the authors in here, they're photographers, and I started working with them, and I was just like, they were really good, but they were charging like very low. Now they're to the point where people are flying them out. They're doing like masterminds all over the world, filming
Get
it, charging
out.
thousands of dollars. And I'm just like, wow. Because they gave me a quote for my event in May. And I was like, oh, y'all on this level. Okay.
Oh man, did you regret that? Did you regret that? Pushing them to like up their prices just so that to screw you over with the bill?
No, no. Listen, I will gladly pay. If I know that you're gonna give me the service that I need, I will gladly pay you. So I'm literally just proud of them. I'm literally proud of all the other authors, and I'm just like, I want people to, when they read it, they see like, okay, it's possible to improve my finances. It's possible to improve my mindset and so much more. And then get like tips on how they can do it. So that was pretty much the drive behind the book, showing people like there's different ways. Like you don't have to, like, if you choose to stay in this box or choose to do it this way, that's fine. But just know that there's also another way that you can be doing things. So yeah.
Mm.
Hmm. Okay. Naron, anything else? Because I know you still got a million questions on you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently in the middle of doing a little creative project myself. I have this idea for a short story. It's part of the reason why I'm so interested in how you started writing your book. So talk to me about it. So you had your idea,
Mhm.
you had the spark. You sit down in front of the computer. How did you get that first paragraph? How did you get the second and third and so on?
So with my other book, I think that would be more so, kind of to answer your question, because with the other book, this one's a little different. So with my first book, it was more so, this is what I teach even through my program. Like you need to have an outline. So having some type of outline, like, so maybe listing out the chapters on what you want to talk about, and it may change, but like having some type of structure rather than just like writing and you're just all over the place. I think structure is key, because then you don't want to like write a bunch of stuff and then you're just like, dang, this doesn't even fit in the book. Like it's not gonna work. You just wasted
Mhm.
time. So I think coming up with an outline in the beginning and then kind of writing towards, that outline can
Mhm.
help. And then I set like goals for myself. So I set like weekly goals, how many more words I want to write for that week. And then I had like, okay, so if I want to write 300 words this week or 500 words this week, now, okay, cool. So by next month this time I should have at least 10,000 words, so kind of setting a goal for yourself. So that was kind of the process for that first book. This second book, it was a little easier because throughout the book, so for example, once I and so it starts off with the author. They have their pictures. They have a little introduction, so you kind of put a face to them and see who they are. And
Mhm.
then it has questions, so they all have like the same questions. So, like for example, one is, what were some of the fears you experienced before venturing out and starting your business? So they answer that, they explain it, they break it down. Then there's the next question. So basically, we all had the same question, and then we're kind of just writing paragraphs to answer the question. So it was a
Okay.
little, it's a little different approach with that book, and I think that was a little easier because you're able to kind of structure, your thoughts and what you should be talking about. So yeah.
Right. You kind of have your audience, you kind of have the people you're interviewing form the story for you. You're just putting together the pieces. What was the first book about?
The first book was about educators.
Okay.
So how they can make a impact and how they can use their basically use their platform, use their experience as educators to help the students, not just to go every day teaching, but like how can you make that connection with them? How can you connect with others as well? Administration. There were chapters about administration, doing your best. Um, but it's crazy because a lot of people that weren't even educators, they were benefiting. That was like, I love it, I love it, I love it. It's showing me how, even in my job, I can do things differently, giving me ideas on what I can do and how I can be the best. Because one chapter is be the best you possible. So really showing them different steps on how not to allow, what others say, to kind of cause you to not be your true authentic self and really how to tap into your gifts, into your talents, into your skills. So it was more so for educators and really showing them some practical things that they can do, giving them that encouragement and yeah, just giving them the advice that they need. And they had a spot where they can write their little notes after each chapter. And then at the end of every chapter was like a daily prayer because teachers, we need that. We need that. Say that prayer real quick. Like, okay, Lord, I'm about to walk into this classroom. Help me. So yeah, it was daily prayers at the
Hmm.
end of each chapter. But yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna hound you too much over the book, but is there any particular quotation of yours that stand out to you? Something that you'd want the audience to hear?
Which book?
That's
You
a hell of a
said,
question too.
oh,
Which book?
you said
No,
which book?
your
Which
latest one.
book?
Your latest one.
The latest book?
The latest one.
Yeah. Let me find it. Let me find it. Actually made it big in the book. It's big
And,
on one of the.
give the audience here a little taste of what you got.
Let's see. So one, I wrote it real big, and it says, "Our actions can sabotage our financial future, and that's why so many people stay broke forever."
Mm.
So
Say that again.
our actions can sabotage our financial future, and that's why so many people stay broke forever.
Mm.
So in the chapter I
Bars.
was talking about I was
Bars.
talking about different actions that we do that we kind of need to unlearn, especially when it comes to credit. Like people don't really know how to use credit cards correctly. Like they think like, oh, it's just free money, I'm just gonna keep charging. Like you should not use like a credit card. Like you shouldn't use more than what you actually have if you can't really pay that back, right? And then you should only be using under 30%, of the actual credit limit. So like breaking down some of those things. And then as in business, sometimes business owners, like they want people to pay their invoices, right? But they never want to pay an invoice for anyone else. They never want to invest in their business. They never want to, pay anything. They just like, no, you pay me, you pay me. And it's just like, no, how do you expect to really grow? Like if you're not investing in, learning about certain things to take your business to the next level, or even investing in getting the right team, because you can't do everything, especially if you call yourself I have a section where I talked about, if you want to be a CEO, you have to have a different mindset. A CEO, like if you call McDonald's right now, you're not going to speak to the CEO of McDonald's because he's not that easily accessible, right? So
Mhm.
it's like that's how we should have our mindset. Like we shouldn't want to be like so accessible in every single area of our business. Like we need to have different people over certain things. So that's why I was like I had to have that assistant. And I'm just like, okay, I want to be able to do the things in my business that I actually enjoy. So if I don't enjoy sending out emails, doing email marketing, if I don't enjoy posting content, if I don't, I want to do the things that I enjoy, and I enjoy being able to speak with clients and being able to coach them. So I talk a lot about that as well. But I think our actions really sabotage our financial future if we're not being careful of the things that we're doing and how we're operating our business. Sometimes we operate it like you're just like, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. It's just like, but you don't have that CEO mindset. So I kind of break down, how you can really operate and run your business as a CEO so they can actually grow and thrive. So you're not having to like be in the business, like in order for it to run. Like your business should be
Mhm.
able to run without you having to like be in, like you have to clock in every day. Like no, like it should be able to flow. So getting it to a point where it can do that, I think that's huge. and then making sure you're being mindful of the actions, the things that you're doing, so that you don't stay broke forever. Because a lot of people, they're like, I don't know why, I just keep living paycheck to paycheck. I just keep, and it's just like, yeah, but let's take a look at some of the things you've been doing, how you've been spending, really looking.
Yeah,
Sometimes people don't look at that.
yeah,
They just, I don't know why. And it's just like, yeah, but you just bought this for $500, but your paycheck is only like $700. So why? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah.
I I hope our audience is taking notes. Get a pen and a pad because this is bars hitting. uh,
yeah.
we-
I do appreciate that quote. I really
yeah,
do.
this is definitely okay. So we getting okay. So we have a question. What's up, TC? How do you avoid writer's block?
It's a good question. I think setting like a changing your environment. So like if you're sitting at your desk and you're just like nothing's coming to me, then maybe you need to go outside. Maybe you need to change your scenery. Maybe bring your notebook to go to the park, go somewhere else, and see if you get some inspiration, from another environment. um Also, I think what helps is if you're having writer block, then just take a break. Don't sit there and try to force it. Don't sit there and try to like I have to do it because I said I was gonna write 200 words today. Like, no, take a break and maybe see if you can go back to it like tomorrow or go back to it in a couple hours. I think those are all the things that help with writer's block. And then something that helps as well is making sure you have an outline. So if you know what you're going to be writing about, then you can you can kind of like write. But if you're kind of just like, I'm not sure, I think I'm gonna talk about this, and then you start writing, you're just like, but I'm stuck, I don't know what to write. So having some type of outline can give you that structure that you need and kind of help you make the ideas, I think, flow a little better.
Let's
Great.
go.
Well, I'm glad that was helpful, Aquarius.
What's up, Aquarius Queen? Let's go. Okay. Oh man. So talk about. I want to go back to finance, right? Let's go to finance real quick. I know. Are we pressed on time? Oh, do we have more time?
I got about 10 more minutes.
All right. So we got 10 minutes. All right.
Trying to think
So
like the best questions to ask.
all right. So thank you for your yeah. TC said thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So since we only have 10 minutes of your time, what we're gonna do is you're gonna give your because every time we have a conclusion to the podcast, we either give final thoughts. You could give your final thoughts, and then how can people connect with you through social media. So Nairon, since we only have 10 minutes,
Yeah.
ask your questions, and then she's going to say her final thoughts, and connect her and what's her social media, and then the people that are watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, if you have uh, your main question, ask it now. But go ahead, TC. I mean, oh my God, I'm sorry, Nairon. I'm
He
sorry,
forgets me. I'm unforgettable on this podcast.
that never,
Um,
yeah, never
yeah,
say
so
that.
so I got two questions, two pivotal questions. I don't know if you're going to be able to answer both in time, but in terms of entrepreneurship, it's different from a 9 to 5 in that there is no real retirement safety net, right? How do you cope with the fear of the possibility of not having that retirement safety net as you proceed with the businesses that you do have?
Um, well, when I was that's why I say you have to have a plan. You have to be strategic. When I
Mhm.
was working, I still have money like from my when I was working, for the past 7 years in education. I was putting money towards my retirement. So I have that, and I think being smart, and that's some things that I share, in the book as well. Like, if that's what you if that's what you care about and that's what's important, which it is, you should be putting money aside with every check that you get, from your business as well. So
Mhm.
The same way how you would be doing it at your job, at your 9 to 5. They just take out, a certain amount. They may match it, but hey, how about you match it yourself? If you get your business to the point when you want it to be, and that income is coming in, which I know that it will. Like, it may not happen like right away. Like when I started being full time in March, money wasn't coming in like that, super fast. No,
Yeah.
it gradually happened. It wasn't until I believe in April that I start April, and then I started to see more. And then every month, literally, I would have on my wall like sticky notes. Like I would like pray, and I would have my closet, and I would be like, okay, this month, God, I want to make this amount. This is gonna cover this. And then every single month, I would add 1,000 to that. And God would just be like, okay. And I remember one month I was like, wait, did I really make that? I had to go back through my books to check everything. And I was like, wow, I did. So I think it's possible, but some people, they don't have that mindset. They don't think it's possible. So that's why everything starts in the mind. Like fear starts in the mind, but so does freedom. So I had this mindset of what I wanted to achieve and wanted to accomplish. And I knew like I need to be able to put money aside, So in the next 10 years, let's say something happens where I can't, continue in the business. I want to have money aside. I don't want to just like live for now. And I think wealthy people understand like it's not like they focus on investing. So
Mhm.
just because you don't have, the 9 to 5, or that you could do the 40, whatever, what is it called? The the retirement savings plan. Like there's different ways that you can invest, and you can open one on your own. You could do Fidelity. You could still do these things. It's just that you don't have to be attached to a 9 to 5 to do it. Like there's still ways for you to build that retirement fund. So I think, but that's financial intelligence. You have to know this information. So you have to study these things. You have to, become knowledgeable about them. And then I think once I started to do that, me and my husband started to have conversations. Then it kind of like, I wasn't really stressed or worried about that. I was just like, okay, it's going to work out. And if I know that God is telling me to go in this direction, I'm like, I don't have to worry. I was saying, first of all, it makes no sense because I can't control anything. He's controlling everything. I'm just doing my
Mhm.
best, trying to, take the necessary steps. So yeah.
Okay. And my
So
final question. Oh,
hold on, Nyron.
yeah.
Hold on for a second. One of our audience just asked you, "Is it okay if we can have more time? Because you are they need this right now. That's what they just said. That they just said this just now. Can
But
they
I
have
don't
more
see them
time?"
asking no questions. Do they have questions? I ain't see no question.
I see one question.
You see one.
One question. Aquarius Queen, what advice would you give to people who are taking risks to reach financial freedom? That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Um, I would say understand that, it is a risk, but understand that it is possible. Um, I would say write the vision, make it plain. So write down so you want to achieve financial freedom, but that's very vague. So what is exactly that you want to achieve? I would say make sure you write these things down, like what I was doing in my closet on these sticky notes. I was writing down, the the income that I wanted to make, from my business. I was writing down things that I wanted to do. I literally wrote down that I want to have my first my own event, like speaking event, before the year's out. And then I had two. So like
Mhm.
you want to like write these things down, put it on paper, because it's not I don't think it's if it's just still up in your mind, it's still not real. Like write it on paper, write it down so that you can actually see it, so you can start taking those steps that you need to achieve it. And then another advice I would say is stop trying to do everything on your own. So you might need to connect with somebody else. You might need to get a mentor. You might need to get a coach. You might need to work with someone that has reached the level that you're trying to reach, right? So I was actually in the airport last night, and I was reading one of my co-authors chapter in the book, and she was saying how someone told her that she needs these three types of people. It's like you need people that are on the same level as you need someone that's above you, and you need people that's below you, so that you can you can reach out and connect with the people on your same level. You can learn from the people above you, and then you can go back down and help those people that are under you. So I was just like, oh wow, that was good. That was good. I was like, okay, that was deep. So I think like you need to surround yourself with a good network of people that can help you, achieve your financial freedom. Because especially if you're trying to be in a business, let's say you're trying to do a coaching business, or you're trying to do like a hair business, you're not going to know everything. So it's okay to ask for help and to seek that counsel and to get that advice to help you get to that place of financial freedom that you want to get to.
Mm, okay. Bars, bars. All right. I'm sorry, Naron. Go ahead. Oh,
I think
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I know we respect time. Naron's gonna ask this question, and then you can give your final thoughts, and then social media, unless audience have the questions.
Yeah, tell them if they got a question, they got to ask. They got to ask.
um I've we how do I put this? You mentioned earlier that you for your photography business you turned it from an endeavor to something that is legitimized as a business and recognized as a business. What were the steps, the specific steps you took to take that photography business from illegitimate to legitimate? The paperwork that you needed to file, the tax codes, all of that. What did you have to do for that?
So the photography business, I didn't get it filed. So the photography business, I was doing that for a while and I was filing it on my taxes, but it wasn't like it was under, I think, a sole proprietor. It
Okay.
wasn't, yeah. But when I started my coaching business, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this serious. So I went on it's called Sunbiz here in Florida. Sunbiz,
Okay.
and I got it registered. I got my EIN number.
Is it sudbiz.com or
Sunbiz.org, I think.
okay.
Sunbiz.org.
All
But
right.
once if you Google Sunbiz, it'll come up. So once I did that, then I got I got it basically registered with the state, and then I got my EIN number, and then
But for our
I
audience members that might not know what an EIN number is, can you explain that?
it's kind of like how we all have a social security number. It's
Hmm.
kind of like the social security number for your business. So
Hmm.
like when you go to open bank accounts, they're gonna ask for this. Sometimes when you try to get credit, they may ask for this. And this is the number you want to give instead of giving your social, because you don't want your business to be attached to you want it to have its own like entity, right?
Right.
So when I opened my bank account, my business bank account, that's what I use my EIN. I was like, y'all not getting my social. So so that's something you want to keep in mind. But yeah, those are the steps I took, and I made sure I had the account so I would be official.
What
All
account?
this opened a business checking account under my
Gotcha.
business name with the EIN number, with all the information that I registered for the state, and you had to provide them with the document. I'm not sure the exact name, but I think it might be like articles of something. I don't know why I want to say articles of confederation, but that don't sound right. But
Absolutely not.
but yeah, but they email it to you right after you register, so you get that
Mhm.
information. And I showed it to them, and then that was pretty much how I got it to be official. I made sure I had my website. Um, I made sure I had different ways, set up to receive payments. I used my website for the most part, but I had other additional ways like PayPal and whatnot, in case people, they want to pay that way. But I slowly started getting away from like Cash App and all those unprofessional ways to like
Mhm.
Zelle, because I want to be able to document. Because when you want funding for your business, um, they want to see like, okay, how is this business really doing? And something I would add is it does not always have to be like you don't always have to have like a whole bunch of money coming in. I think what they look at is consistency. So like Stripe offered me capital not too long ago. I think like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, this came right in time because I need that money for my event. So I was like, oh, they offered me. I just started being consistent in Stripe, I would say probably for the past 3 months. So it wasn't even like, oh, I've been on there I've had the account for a while, but money didn't start coming in very, very, very consistently because I started to like just focus on one thing instead of like getting money from PayPal, getting money from here. I was like, let me just have one way where the money is kind of coming in. So they saw that and they offered me money. So basically when payments continue to come in, they just take like a small portion of that to pay back the loan. So they could offer you like $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, depending on, how much money you have consistently coming in. So with that, there was no credit check. There was nothing. It was just like, they just saw my activity on their platform and they gave me money. And then out of every payment that I get moving forward, they're just going to take a little percentage out to pay it back. So, yeah, I was like, oh, this is good. This is nice. So there's different, but that's because I was being professional, right? I wasn't just like, send me on Cash App. Cash App not gonna give me no. I don't think they're gonna give you money. I don't know.
Right.
They might have changed, but I
Right.
think trying to grow your business, you want to be as professional as possible and have things in place.
Do you remember the total cost for like the registering of the business, the EIN? Did you have any trademarks or anything like that?
No, but it was under $200.
All right. I mean, that's the most. So for our audience members, there is no, I work real hard and put my nose to the grindstone. There's no, I just, looked up to God and I was just like, God, help me register this business. No, she went online. She registered the business through, what was the website again?
Sunbiz.
Sunbiz. She went to Sunbiz. She got her EIN number. Then she opened up a business account for her business so that it's professional and she doesn't use Zelle and Cash App. Those were the steps she took to have a legalized official business recognized by the state.
Yeah,
We've been
our
trying to pull
audience.
this out forever from
Yep.
entrepreneurs.
Yep, our audience do not like that. You'd be like, "Oh, I just did was just work hard. That's it. Just be consistent. That's it. That's all I did to get my
Right.
business."
No. It's a little more than that. It's a little more than that.
Right.
And it's still less than $200. So it's possible to register that way.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Thank you. I know we're pressed on time. So what is your final thoughts and how can the people connect on your social media?
Yeah.
Oh, website, everything. I'm sorry.
Okay. Got you. So thank you guys so much for this opportunity. I really enjoyed it. You guys are characters. I love it. But my final thoughts would be, I just want to encourage everyone to take that leap of faith, to do one thing a day that scares you, and try to get an accountability partner. So try to get someone that's going to hold you accountable, that believes in your vision, that believes in your business, that believes in your dreams. And then even if you're on here, you're just like, well, I'm not really interested in starting a business. Okay, but there's different things that you can do. So first of all, y'all need to make sure y'all get a copy of this book, because I have over.
Hold that up,
Repeat it
please.
again. What's the
You gotta
name?
hold
What's
that
the
up.
name?
Hold it up. Hold it up. Freedom over fear in bold letters, people.
By
Yes.
Shanine Alessia Young. S-A-H-H.
Shanine Alessia Young.
Alessia. I'm sorry.
You
Shanine
good?
Alessia Young. Got her whole government on the book. You can't miss it.
Yes. So yes, I would say make sure you get it, because in my chapter, I literally go through like, so if you don't want to start a business, but you want to like achieve that financial freedom, you want to gain some extra income in your pockets, I have a list of over, I think, 15 different sites or things that you can use to kind of get that, to kind of get some extra money coming in. So different side hustles and stuff like that. And you might end up like, sometimes people start out as a side hustle and then they're like, I really enjoy this, and they may want to branch it off into a business. But guess what? It takes you have to take that step of faith. You have to take that leap and stop like just like being comfortable. I think sometimes we get too comfortable. So if I could leave you with this, is stop being comfortable and think about your future generations. Think about the life that you want to live. You want to be able to be able to travel and do things that you like and enjoy without having to constantly stress and worry about money. So you want to start taking these steps to get to where you want to be. And yeah, so dang, I forgot I was gonna say something. I'm trying to think. but yeah, mindset is everything. So start watching things that are going to actually get your mind right. Start listening to podcasts, start listening, reading different books that can actually educate you and help you and give you that encouragement you need, so that, you know, in case your surrounding may not be the best, you're starting to like put the right things into your mind to show you that things are necessary and you can get to, you know, the part where you want to be in life.
And that's a mic drop right there, people. That's it. That's it. That's a mic drop.
Mhm.
Right.
Bars.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you guys want to connect with me, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook at Reaching While Teaching. Also, the name that's on the book, Shanine Alessia. That's how it's spelled. I'm trying to think. My website is reachingwhileteaching.com. I have a few things coming up as well. I'm going to be teaching people how to turn their story into a profit. So you want to definitely connect with me so I can show you and walk you through that process. Um, January, I'm enrolling some new people that are ready to write this book and to grow their income. I'm big on pre-selling your book. So I have people that come to me and they literally fund their book project before the book's even done, and which is what my authors did. They had people you know, buying their book before the book was even created. So I'm big on, you know, pre-selling and getting those funds to fund your project before the project is done. And then, you know, thanking those people that brought it. So making sure you give them a little something special. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for where my program is going. And yeah, if you guys want to connect with me, you want to be an author, you want to improve your content, you want to grow your business, just hit me up. If I can't help you, I got people that can help you. I have a team of amazing, you know, amazing entrepreneurs that are passionate about really just helping people get to the next level. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to give y'all some tips and share a little bit about my story. I enjoyed it. And yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so very much for being part of the podcast. Um, oh, Diamond Cat is coming
I don't
back
know what's
on.
going on in his
I don't know.
today.
I don't know. I think you blew him away so much with all of your tips and advice that overloaded his phone. You know what I mean?
Oh god.
I yo. Oh man. Technology does not like me right now.
All right. But
All right, it's all
thank you
right.
so much, Miss Young.
What's your your website, everything?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
reaching
shared it
while
all.
teaching. Everything's reaching while teaching. So reachingwhileteaching.com, Instagram, Facebook, and then I'm Shanine Alessia as well on Instagram. And then that's if you want to purchase a copy of the book, it's on shaninealessia.com. You can hit me up on Reaching While Teaching if you want the information as well. Right now, until Christmas, we're having a sale. It's $5 off. So instead of 20, it's 15. And that's, in my opinion, that's a little investment to help you get to your business, to help you get, you know, your finances to the next level, because you're going to be blown away. And if you feel like this book you read and you're just like, I don't learn anything, I'll give you your money back. But I know that's not going to be the case.
Let's go. Thank you so much for this. Thank you. I know our audience appreciate it. Uh, we did everything what you said, bars hitting, just straight after through. Thank you,
Thank
and
you very
Thank
much.
you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, y'all. That's the end of the episode. That's it, and we out.
Bye.